Basewood Railway Productions and
MNC Studios
presents to you your feature film, shown to you on YouTube. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. It is Harvey and Emily, Bill and Ben. It's Mavis and Salty and Diesel, but not the 10. It is Spencer, and here we go again. It is Thomas and Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy and Toby, Donald and Douglas, and all the rest in H.O. Thomas Adventures. One day on the island of Sodor, the engines were arguing about which engine was going to get which special today. I wonder which jobs I'm going to get today, said James. I hope I'm going to get to pull supplies down to the brand new construction site, said Edward.
Rubbish,
Snorted Gordon.
I'm gonna be the one to pull supplies down to the construction site. That's impossible,
said Henry.
You have to pull the express. Shut up, Henry,
yelled Gordon.
Meanie,
said Henry. Both of you, just stop arguing, said James. Yeah, come on, guys, said Percy. You guys are best friends. Don't argue with each other. Then Sir Topham Hatt came to tell the engines their real jobs. Okay then, engines, these are your jobs, said Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas, you will pull coaches into Knapford Station. Yes, sir, said Thomas. And Edward, you will pull empty cars down to the docks. Salty will be your assistant. Yes, sir, said Edward. Henry and Gordon, you two will pull the express. James, I will have a job for you later. And Percy, you'll be doing your same job with James. Now get to it, engines, said Sir Topham Hatt. Then Sir Topham Hatt walked away. I still don't know how he does that, said Percy. How does he just magically disappear like that? I mean, really, does anyone else have an explanation for that? No, we do not, Percy, said Thomas. Oh well, come on everyone, let's get going on with our jobs. Then Thomas chuffed away. Then, when Thomas finished pulling in the trains, he chuffed away. Then Edward backed up into his cars and chuffed away. Thomas actually got the coaches here on time for once. Unlike the time when he made us wait 3 hours for you, Henry. You don't have to keep reminding me about it, said Henry. Hello, Edward. Then the conductor said, and then they left. Then Edward rushed down James's Hill as fast as his pistons would pump. Then Edward saw something on the tracks ahead. It was a crocodile. And Edward was going too fast, and he was going to hit the crocodile. And what on earth is a crocodile doing in the middle of the tracks? There isn't a swamp on Sodor for 10 miles. Ever since the incident with the croc on the line, the workers have been trying to put on cow cages for Edward, but until then, Duck had to work all of Edward's jobs. "Bye, guys," said Duck. "I'm gonna have to work some of Edward's jobs." Then Duck chuffed away. Then Duck had to come in and pick up some coal. "Time to go do some of my other jobs," said Duck. "Wow, what a nice river." Then Duck started to push the coal car to the docks. "I can smell sea air," said Duck. Then Duck arrived at the docks. "Hello there, Duck," said James as was pushing in some Charleston trucks. "How are you doing today?" "I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, James," said Duck. Then, after Duck dropped off the coal car at the docks, he sped away. Then, late at night, Henry started doing his rounds as he was heading down to the docks. Then, a mysterious engine came into the docks. Cranky didn't see this mysterious figure. He was fast asleep. Then, chains were hooked up to Cranky's base. Then the chains were hooked up to the mysterious engine. Then the mysterious figure started to back up. He tried and tried, and then, falling down with a mighty clang, Cranky started to fall. Then Cranky woke up.
Oh no, why am I on my side?
Said Cranky.
Wait, what the? Who are you?
And then the mysterious engine spurred away. Henry was heading straight for Cranky, and he didn't even know it. Henry was going at full blast when he just realized this. "Oh no, my brakes don't work, help!" Henry started going faster and faster. Wah! Bah! Ouch. Next morning at the docks, you can finally see the train crash that happened last night. Cranky is on his side, and so is Henry, and all the troublesome trucks were to blame the next morning. Who was responsible for this big crash? Who is the mysterious engine at the docks late last night? And what was Jameson's Percy's special jobs? Find out in part 2. This feature film brought to you by Basewood Railway Productions. Meanwhile, at the repair yard. Meanwhile, Henry was talking to Edward and Duck about what happened. "It was the strangest thing," said Henry. "I was going as fast as I could down the line when all of a sudden my brakes didn't work. I was going fast as I could down James's Hill. Then I see Cranky on the side and I crash into him." "That does sound maddening," said Duck. "Hey, Duck, why are you in here anyway?" said Edward. "Well, it was the darndest thing. I was just backing up into my coal cars when all of a sudden this big black engine came up behind me, bashed into my coal cars, and coal spilled all over me. I had to get cleaned up, and I found out that one of the coal had gone up into my water tank. Now I have to get my water tank entirely cleaned out," said Duck. "Well, I hope you get better soon," said Edward.
Number 6.
After After Edward got his cow catchers on, he went to go out for his work. I wonder how the other engines are with pulling the express. I wonder if Gordon can pull that much weight. He's strong, but I'm not sure he's that strong, said Henry. Meanwhile, Bill and Ben were having a wonderful time pulling Henry's passengers. They never pulled passengers before, and they were very happy to do it. Shall we go faster, Bill? Said Ben. We shall, said Bill. Then Bill and Ben started going faster and faster. Bill, you might want to slow it down a bit, buddy. This is getting a bit too fast for me. But Bill didn't listen. He kept going faster and faster. But then Ben broke off and started going way too fast. I need to slow down. Ah! By then it was too late. Ben then jumped off the tracks. Ah! Whoa! Ah! Duck and Henry had seen the whole entire crash, and they could not believe their eyes. Ben had just fallen off onto the other rails. Later, after Ben's crash, Bill, Donald, and Douglas tried their hardest so that way they could pull Ben back onto the rails. Don't worry, Ben, said Donald and Douglas. We'll soon have you back on the rails, they said. Then they pulled with all of their might, trying to get Ben back into the rails. They pulled, and they pulled. Then mighty heave. They did it. They got Ben back onto the rails. Thank you very much, guys, for pulling me back onto the rails. I'm very grateful for this happening. Don't worry about it, said Donald and Douglas. It was our pleasure. Then later, Ben was put into the shunting yards by his brother Ben. And then Bill chuffed away. Later, Sir Topham Hatt came to see Duck after Duck's boiler was cleaned out of the coal grit. Duck, today you will go down to the docks and pick up a tanker of raspberry syrup to take down to the ice cream factory. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Then Sir Topham Hatt walked away. Does anyone know still how does he do that? Said Duck. Then Duck raced down to the docks. Then Duck arrived at the docks.
Hello, Duck. How are you doing today, me hearty?
Said Salty. I'm doing just fine, Salty. Thanks for asking, said Duck. Meanwhile, Cranky was turning the gigantic raspberry syrup tank straight for Duck's way. Then the raspberry tank was straight over Duck. Then there was trouble. The chain holding up the raspberry tank car snapped from Cranky's hook. The duck started to fall. Right over Duck. Duck was covered up from funnel to footplate in raspberry syrup. Whoops, sorry about that, Duck, said Cranky. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, said Duck. Well, look on the bright side, me hearty, said Salty. Now you're bright red like me. I guess you're right, Salty. I guess you're right. This is the end of part 2. Now for the new questions asked. Why did the raspberry tanker fall on Duck? Why is Salty here for no apparent reason with an empty truck? Where is Waldo? Find out in part 3.